Hi, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hope all is well with everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm your host, GB. Welcome to uppr90plus podcast. And hope everyone is doing well out there. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Lots of football going on this weekend as well. And as you know, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about right now the transfer market. Oh man, I hardly sleeping these last couple nights. My Gunners are trying to pick up a player, man. We're playing, look like we might play a lot of money for him. And I don't know. I'm just nervous. But with all the movements and player movements, I know you all are out there looking at your team and who's picking up who. The transfer market, of course, ends tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it ends. So really looking to see how other teams are shaping up and really what's going on as far as how they're going to be doing the rest of the season, what players are going to be picking up as well. For those of you that don't know about the actual football transfer market, this is how it works. American sports, a team wants a player, they talk to another team, the player, they say, okay, well, the player gets traded to another team. Uh, that's it. They pick up the contract, done. That's not how it works in the football world. World football, the transfer market, there's many facets to it. We'll explain a couple of them to you. First of all is the team to team transfer. So if, for say, I wish to have a player that's on your team, I might discuss the personal terms, of course, first with the player without even talking to the team. That is one option that happens to see, feel out the player, see if he's interested in coming to my team. He says yes. Okay, personal terms, meaning we now talk about a contract, how much you're going to make. For world football, they pay per week, as just like normal sports. So we discuss personal terms with the player. All right. Again, this is what the first option. Now we settle that. Now we go now to the club that he plays for, or she, and we state to the club, we want to buy this player. They're interested in coming to us. What is the fee that you wish us to pay you now to release the player from your team so that way they can join us? So it's twofold here. You discuss with the player monies. The club now gets monies because now they're losing that player, correct? So you see how that works. Different than American sports. The Say for instance in baseball, the Yankees trade to the California to the Anaheim Angels. Anaheim and the Yankees. If the player is going to the Yankees don't play Anaheim any money. They just make the trade and that's it. There's no compensation for that particular team. In world football, the club gets compensated monies. So that's how the first option of the transfer. You discuss with the players first, see if they're interested. Next, you discuss with the club. This is how much you're willing to take. So there's two facets there. The second option with a transfer is, of course, to discuss first of all with the club. Who do you all have available for that you're wishing to give up? Now you discuss with the club, and the club says to the player, "Listen, this such and such club is interested in you. We're willing to make the deal. Are you now willing to go to this club to go play as a better option?" So that's the second piece. Still the same pieces of the pie work here now. The clubs work on a fee, and then you now work with the player for a fee. So there's still both facets here. All right. So tomorrow evening, the European market closes for any transfers. Here we call them trades in the States, but transfers of teams discussing and things like that. That closes tomorrow. So tonight till the wee hours of the morning, there's all kinds of movements going on for team transferring to which players are which. There's lots of gossip out there. There's many accounts out there that have people that just tweet out, or they have their own website with just talking about transfers, all the gossip going on and things. So if you're interested in that, you can always go online and look up a transfer market, or transfer fees, or something in that realm, and you'll catch some kind of site that has what's going on with every single team that are making transfers currently right now. So just wanted to give you a little insight on how that actually works. know that the couple weeks ago we were out at, my wife and I were out at the EPL Fan Fest out at Universal City Walk here in Orlando, and man, what a spectacular day, man! Got to meet Robbie Earl, conversate with him for a bit, and you know, the other hosts there as well. So saw them, Tim Howard and things. They had a bunch of different activities for us to do out there, and really, what was really neat was they had the presentation trophy for the English Premier League. Now, there's two trophies. The one that was there is called the presentation trophy. That trophy is what they present to the team the day of them winning the actual league. Then now they have the league trophy that actually goes to the team. Nobody touches that but the team. But this presentation trophy makes the rounds, and my wife and I got to take a picture next to it. So you know, that was just really really neat to just see that up close and personal, knowing that, you know, possibly my Gunners might get it this season. So, but anyway, that fan fest was incredible. If it's in your area or in your town, you know, please do try and sign up. Once they do announce it, you have to download an app, because what they will do is they will go on the app and they will send you the information through the app to let you know that you are into the fan fest, because there's only a certain amount of spots available to actually get into the fan fest. So look out for that EPL Live Fan Fest. Those are morning show that they actually do. This Saturday morning there'll be a show going on as well. Don't know if it's in a different city or not. I don't think they've announced exactly when the next one is, but we had a really good time out there. So now we'll discuss about the evening's topic. We're going to talk about the right midfield position. Kind of a position now that has kind of gone by the wayside as far as calling it a right midfielder, because now with the presentation of wing backs that are taking up this particular role, you might have a right midfielder and a outside back that is behind him, or the right midfielder now takes up the wing back position as well, overlapping with the left winger, as we said back in the day, doing that as well. So we'll just touch on the right midfielder right now, and just give a little insight about that particular position. So you're on the right side of the pitch. That is your facet of the game. You're controlling that. That's how you start the game, I should say, is on the right side. Of course, as we discussed on the show before, you can maneuver all over the pitch. You start off in a position, you might not end up there 5 minutes later, right? So you're on the right side. You now have another defender that's next to you. All right, that's a very key word here. Did you hear what I said? You have a defender that is next to you. It's called the touch line. So you have now the middle of the pitch to the end line. And then you have the side out of bounds line, which is the touch line. So you can force your player now to that particular touch line, and you now have to defend less space. Remember, we talked about central midfielder position before. They have a wider area that they have to maneuver in. Now, right side, you have the touch line and the center of the pitch. That's where you're operating. That is, I call it your business office. You go 18-yard box end line all the way back to top of the 18. Sometimes you have to go to the other end line, tracking back as well. Because remember, all positions, you go forward and you track back. You don't leave any kind of teammates by themselves. And in this particular position, you are the cover for the back that is behind you. All right. So touchline, that helps with the defense. All right. Supporting the forward and defense is key to this particular position. You all right? So you're supporting up front, making runs, and then now tracking back to help out the defender. All right. So you're taking on and you're marking your particular player. You're looking on the inside now for any dangerous situations going on there to help out the central midfielder. You're looking behind as well to help out your defender behind you, as well as now taking care of the person that's in front of you. So you have three players that are around you now that you need to be aware of where they are on the pitch. That way you can maneuver and be in a position to help all three of them, whether it's in attack or whether it's in defense. Because if, say, for instance, the central midfielder gets caught further up making a run, okay, the danger person is running now down the middle of the pitch. Well, now you go across and you take that position. The person that's behind you, which would be the fullback, would now move up into your position to pick up your particular player. So you see how that works seamlessly. So again, we talked about you need to know all positions. This is why. You need to know about the forward position, the central midfield position, the outside back position that's behind you, because you know what they're going to do and when they're going to do it when you have the ball at your feet. Now, let's talk about attacking. You're supporting the forward and the attack. I've seen a lot nowadays where we have the overlapping run from the outside back or the outside midfielder going around that particular forward, right? And we also talked about that, say on the right side, that you have a left-footed player that's normally playing in front of you. Normally there's a right-footed player playing behind that player, right? But I've noticed nowadays that the attacking player that's behind the forward, that's going into the attack on that defender, sometimes you attack too early. Sometimes you need to step back and let that player work that defender, try to take him on. Because if you now try to make a run going around that particular forward, you're now bringing your person with you. So guess what? Now it's a two defenders against that one forward because you just took up the space. That's the first key. Second part of taking up the space, that gives that forward now less room to maneuver, right? So pick your poison. Don't necessarily go up too quickly, but if you are going to go up, make sure that you're making a run that you can obtain a wonderful cross in, but you're not taking up the space of the forward, right? So that means you have to watch the person in front of you, see whether he's making a move inside or outside. That way you can now go ahead and attack whichever direction you need to attack. So it's not always you have to go up to make that outside run. You don't have to do that every single time. You have to make sure you're watching to see if that forward is in trouble. Now you go up support. If the other defender hasn't double teamed him, then no, you just step back and don't take that defender into that area. All right. So very, very key there. Forward. Now let's talk about the central midfielder and your positioning wise. You should always be level with that central midfielder. All right. We talked about not having to turn your head to see what's going on the pitch. So as the midfielders are dropping back, you should always be level with that particular position, right? That way, first of all, if that person gets beat, you are there to counter, right? Second, in attacking now going forward, he now or she has an option to give you the ball at all times, right? So that's the center mid and the right mid now counteracting together, working as a team going forward. Now let's talk about defense. Defense-wise, you and the outside back, you all are interchangeable. Remember we said you can play all positions. You are interchangeable. But guess what? The other team doesn't know that. So if you have the ball and you're going up, and then you give the ball to the forward, sometimes that outside back that's behind you, let him make the run, him or her, I should say, make the run. Let that player make the run sometimes and throw the other team off guard. You just drop back into that position. So you see, there's many facets of the game, and we talked about this before. It's a thinking game. Think about what you're doing before you do it. Before the ball comes to your feet, think about what you're going to do. You should always know what you're going to do with the ball before you receive the ball. We talked about this in the videos before, so please go back and watch. Very important. So this is 2023. Let's work on that. That's my key for this year. I want you to really focus in on what am I doing with the ball before I get it. Okay? whether it's you have to give off a one touch because someone's running into your space, or you can dribble and take a couple touches, right? So I went to a game a couple weeks back, watched the team play against another team, and this team just had a bunch of guys that were up in the forward line, and for some reason they wanted to take on 2 and 3 players to try and improve themselves and tried to go down the pitch that way. Didn't work every single time. It did not work. That was in the first half. Coach came out for the second half now, and I noticed he must have talked to them because now they're doing wall passes around the same players that that player was taking on. So it's a team sport, as we always talk about. Pass the ball. The fastest way down the pitch is passing, not dribbling. It's passing. You can pass around players and get down the pitch further. Taking on 2 or 3 players, that's not necessary. Okay? Because if there's 3 players around you, well, you should be thinking now, that means 2 of my teammates are open. Pass them the ball. Right? Good. So this year, think about what you're doing before the ball gets to your feet. Am I taking on a player? Am I knocking it one time? Or can I dribble? 3 options there. Second, I should say fourth option. Am I passing it forward? 5th option, do I knock it back because I'm in trouble? Because don't forget now, you're on the touch line. So you cannot go all the way to the right to get out of trouble. You have to go left, you have to go forward, or you have to go back. So again, back to thinking, what am I going to do? Right? So passing the ball center, forward or back, winning the ball, keeping possession on the wing are all keys, right? So back to the 360, right? We talked about that before. Your head should always be on a swivel, right? If your head's on a swivel, you know exactly what you're going to do when the ball comes to you. Regardless of whether it does or not, you know exactly what to do. Good? All right, excellent. All right, so let's reiterate some things here. We talked about it in the show before. Are you watching football? What are you doing each day? Are you taking care of your body? We talked about nutrition. We talked about hydration. All of those are key. All of those are key to what you're doing, right? Did you pick a team? We talked about that before. Pick a team. Are you watching them? Are you watching them on a basis? I mean, you have your phone. They have all these applications now. You're watching teams. You're watching how they play. Did you pick out a player that you really liked? You know, so with all these transfers going on now, your player might be going to a different market that you might not be able to watch them play all the time. So make sure that you can find an opportunity to watch as many games as possible and pick out a team in a different market. Watch them. If you follow the U.S. team, you know that Weston McKennie, he just went to Leeds. So we have Jesse Marsh, who's an American coach, coaching Leeds United in the EPL, English Premier League. Weston McKennie is there now with Tyler Adams and Aronson. So you have 3 American national team players playing in the English Premier League, all on the same team. They play on NBC Sports. They play on Peacock. There's many opportunities to watch those particular players now. And then you know Tim Reed and Robinson, they play for Fulham in the English Premier League. There's another team to check out as well if you're watching those particular. If you're a German Bundesliga, you like that league, go ahead and sign up for whatever the platform is for there, ESPN Plus or whatever it is. If you're using a different platform, I should say, worldwide. Sky Sports, my cousins over in Europe, they have all the Sky Sports platforms, but there's many, many options now to watch games and to see as many games as possible. And when you're watching the game, don't necessarily watch the ball all the time. You're trying to learn about what these players are doing, what your player is doing to better your game. Watch the movements off of the ball and think about whatever position that you are playing in the next game that's coming up, because you might be playing an outside mid or something like that. Watch the outside mid for the other teams. Watch how they look and approach the game. See, call out the game before they even touch the ball. Say, hey, make that pass. See if they make the pass. Oh, you can take on that player. See, call it out before they do it, right? Because that's now going to go ahead and enhance your game as well. and you can go ahead and make a move on the pitch, and it's going to come second nature to you. Do the things in practice. The things in practice correlate to the game. You should be practicing like you're playing the game. Shouldn't be walking around. Shouldn't be joking with players. Practice like how you play in a match, and it will do wonders for your game. I'm telling you right now. If you're going out to practice and you're messing around, normally sometimes in practice, that's when you get hurt because you're not fierce, you're not taking things seriously, and you might get hurt in practice because you're not doing that. Pay attention to the coaches. They're there for a reason to help. Don't worry about who's on the sidelines, whether it's your parents, the girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever watching. When you step on that pitch, you should be focused on what am I doing today? What do I have to do to work on my particular game to take it to the next level? And what can I do to help my team win this game that we're getting ready to play in? All right? Good. All right, so we'll end the show with that this evening. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for tuning in for all those out there. And, we're going to have some interviews coming up here next week. Have an interview going on. And if you do wish to be a part of the show, please do send me an email, uppr90plus@gmail.com. And, try and get you on the show to talk about football. As you know, we do training here, as you see. We do interviews with players. And we also, have other discussions as well on all football topics. All right, so GB uppr90plus signing out. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and rest of the week. And love football and go out there and affect the game. All right, so hope all is well with everyone for the rest of the week. And you all take care and talk soon.